YouTube! Welcome back. If you are still watching my pregnancy vlogs even after I hormonally raged on you in my 34-week video, welcome back. Thank you for still loving me and coming back. I'm now 35 weeks pregnant. I'm at the end of the 35th week, so 35 and 6 days or something. And this has been an interesting week, so here we go. Let me give you a quick glimpse of 35 weeks. Whoa! He grew! And I have further proof of his growth because I had my doctor's appointment today. I am now at weekly doctor's appointments, which is kind of terrifying me because that means this is the real deal now. So my doctor's appointment went well. Here are my stats. I actually gained weight, and I'm so excited because my belly keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but the scale was staying at 136, and it was actually discouraging me. I started to get worried that something was wrong with him. But today, instead of 136, I weighed in at 139.6. Yay! So that's good. He's finally showing proof of growth. Or my butt is finally showing proof of sitting on the couch for 2 weeks straight. Either way, I'll take it. His measurements are good. They did not check me to see if I progressed in my dilation because I didn't want to irritate things down there. There's a lot of drama going on down there, and they did not want to make that worse. But besides that, things are going well. The next doctor's appointment next week, actually not that far away because today is Friday and the next one is Wednesday. So on Wednesday they will actually palpate him. They felt him and he's still head down, locked and loaded, head is really low. So next week they're going to see how big he is and kind of guesstimate, which really isn't accurate, but at least it's fun for me to see how big he is. I also had a wonderful doctor's appointment because we discussed my ideas for labor, which was kind of nice. I had a hospital tour. I'm going to a different hospital, and in that tour they told us that they are for skin-to-skin contact right after labor, which I'm very into. Showering during labor for just the heat and the relief, if I could stand in the shower, moving around, all the things on my worry list, that I would be strapped to a bed, not be strapped to an IV pole, not be able to move around, and I got all of them confirmed by my doctor today, which was wonderful that she is on the same page as me. I can move around and let gravity help me during labor. I won't be strapped to a bed. They will agree to intermittent monitoring of my contractions, so I don't have to be hooked up to the monitor the whole time. The hospital said that they're okay with that, and my doctors all said that they were okay with that. I'm still even going to write it in a birth plan because I'm just OCD about this, but it's nice to get the reassurance that they're all okay with this. And my doctor even said that sometimes she gives women up to an hour of skin-to-skin contact immediately after birth. It was a little traumatic for me after 23 hours of back labor with my daughter. I finally pushed her out. They put her on my stomach. My first reaction was, because she was kind of bluish and had very black curly hair, and it was just the freakiest thing. And I didn't have a minute to take it in because then they whisked her away and weighed her and measured her and did her scores, and my husband was with her with the umbilical cord, and I'm just sitting there like pushing out the placenta. Anyway, that was a little traumatic because then the next time I got to see her, she was all wrapped and bundled, and all I could see was this much of her face because she had the hat and the bundled up, and all I was thinking about was, what can I eat right now? I'm so hungry. I've been 24 hours without food. So I don't want to do that again, and this doctor is okay with that. He can come, I don't care about the mess. He can come on my chest and we can get to know each other. I can nurse him right away if I want, as long as he's healthy, obviously, as long as I'm doing okay and he's doing okay and I can push out the placenta, blah, 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 but we can have the skin-to-skin right away, which I'm really excited about. For a large magnet hospital, they're a lot more accommodating than I expected, and I'm very happy with that. They also don't have a nursery, which I'm happy with. I think it's important that you get to know your baby's routine immediately. The feeding, the diapering, the cries, what your baby is into. And it's so weird that some hospitals still have a nursery, that somebody else is taking care of your baby. Because what do you do when you go home and now you've got this kid, but you actually weren't really around them for the first few days of their life? It's kind of weird to me. So I'm very relieved that went really well. Every time I start to make a video, I feel like I have nothing to say, and I think it's going to be a 2-minute video, and then I don't shut up. So I apologize if I keep going. I promise I will edit this to a T, and I won't blah, 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 blah. I've been having these weird hormonal waves, but it goes by week. 1 week, I will be my normal, lovely self, and then the next week, I'm a hormonal monster. Ah! And this week was one of those hormonal weeks. I even have the lovely spot to show for it. What is that? So I wrote in my notes that the beginning of the week I felt like my ribs were bruised. Like he was so high and kicking so high that it was bruising my ribs. However, now at the end of the week, he has significantly dropped again. And I don't even feel him in my ribs or my diaphragm, and I can breathe a lot easier. So that was interesting that he started off the week high and now has dropped down low again. I've also noticed breast tingling. I nursed my daughter for 8 months, and that was 4 years ago. And I am noticing the same types of tingling that indicate that it's almost time for a feeding, which is bizarre to me. I didn't have any of this the first pregnancy. I'm no longer leaking colostrum. That was just the one time. But now my boobs doubled in size, and now they're getting that little achy tingling feeling, which is kind of weird that they're getting ready already. For this birth, I read and studied and practiced hypnobirthing. I did not attend a class, but I read the book and have been listening to a lot of the meditation series and trying to practice the relaxation techniques. However, I did not go to a class. So today, to further my education, even though I am only 4 or 5 weeks away from birth, so I don't know why, I feel like I'm cramming last minute, like I have an exam coming, so I just want to get all the last minute cramming I can do. So today at the bookstore, I read Natural Childbirth, The Bradley Way by Susan McCutcheon. Which was very similar to the hypnobirthing book. I really enjoyed that book. I will warn you, if you check it out, the pictures are hilarious. I don't know when they took these pictures. I'm guessing they were from the late 1970s, maybe 1980. This is a revised edition. It was revised, it was written in 1984 and then revised in 1996. So you would think they would come up with some new pictures, because the women are naked in every picture, I guess to further illustrate the moves. And then the men are sitting there half naked with the women. It's almost like a 70s porno shot, except a baby's coming out of the vagina. It was hilarious, and I'm so immature, I could not stop giggling in the bookstore. It's hard to take it seriously when you're like, oh my gosh, how did he even find her vagina to make her pregnant in the first place? I digress. Their chapters were really, really awesome. They were effective, they were very well written. I didn't buy the book because it's $20 and I'm 4 or 5 weeks away, so instead, I apologize to the bookstore, but I just spent 2 hours in the store reading and studying and taking notes on my phone. Sorry. The other nice thing was how it lays it out for your birthing partner. They call it your husband, and they stick to it being your husband. The hypnobirthing book is a little more modern and talks about your birthing partner, which I appreciate them being a little more politically correct. Mine is going to be my husband, but still, what if it were my wife? Like, I wouldn't want to be reading your husband, your husband, your husband, your husband throughout the whole book. I think that would get me a little pissed. So anyway, back to the Bradley method. I really enjoyed that book because it gave a lot of tips to the coach. And I realized I haven't really had this conversation with him. I've done all the studying and preparing, but I never took a minute to communicate with him what my plans were, which is really stupid. Why wouldn't I include him? He's an important part of this. So, in the bookstore, I was able to, in my notes, write out a list of everything that I need from him, from the mundane to the more important, such as I need dim lights in a quiet room at all times. I should drink a sip of water after every contraction, even if I don't want to. I should try to pee as often as possible, even if I don't want to. Remind me to have calm abdominal breathing, no panting, no holding my breath. If I'm sweaty, try a cold washcloth. Remind me of my relaxing music I've been practicing with. And then I broke down the stages to him as well, which I guess I should have communicated a lot sooner. For example, labor will start off with me excited and then move to a more serious emotional stage. I will be concentrating on remaining calm and breathing. Contractions may be 5 to 6 minutes apart, not long enough to be in the hospital yet, and this could last for hours. I do not need to go to the hospital yet. It's better to try to relax through this at home where I am most comfortable. And then I go through the self-doubt stage. They explain all of this in the Bradley Method book and also in the hypnobirthing book. So I explain that to him. And just further affirmations for avoiding the hospital, because I know I'll start to self-doubt and will want to go to the hospital as soon as possible. So I keep reminding him, if I've been in labor for hours, contractions are 2 and 3 minutes apart and lasting 60 to 90 seconds, and I'm doubting myself, then you know for sure that I'm nearing the end and can assure me of that. And blah, 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 ways for him to massage. It takes a lot of concentration to relax your whole body through a contraction. So hopefully he'll read it. If I email it to him, he will read it. If I print it out, he will not. So I'm thinking I'm going to email it. Or I'll email it and then I'll print it out and I'll post it in his bathroom in front of the toilet. That's always like a good way of knowing he's going to read it. And if I put my hand up, you can see this indent where I guess my uterus would have started, and before he was all the way up here. Now I can push and he's not there, but then my ribs are right here, so I can see my ribs. I have this indent, and then it's like this is all normal, so you can see the outline if you push of where, I'm sorry, I'm probably freaking you guys out, of where everything is located, and it is just bizarre to me, even along here that you can see the exact lines of everything. It's funny. So this is my belly and my little stretch mark area. This is where I had a piercing like 10 years ago and took it out, but now I still have a belly. So. That's all I got. Thank you for watching week 35 and sticking through with me. It's almost over. The end is nigh. I hope you have a good day. Love you, bestos.